Good morning, everyone. I am Shobit Mani Tiwari. I am acting as assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, BBD University, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Here we are going to discuss the next thing about the theory of computation. In previous lecture, we have already discussed about the basics and a few very basic concepts regarding theory of computations. So here we are going to discuss some more concepts, and after that we will be discussing some machines also. So let us move to the next section. First of all, we already discussed the language. The language which is going to be some string alphabet combination known as a string, and the language has to be provided to a machine for acceptance. It consists of some input alphabets and few operations we will be discussing, such as concatenation on some string or on some language, reverse of language, length of a string, empty string, followed by acceptance of some language. We generally follow some language such as Hindi, English, etc. In the same way, any machine also follows some language. Say, for computer, it follows binary languages, 0 and 1. So for us, if we are using English language, then the alphabets are finite in nature and the alphabets are A to Z. And suppose we are constructing a string, hello, how are you? And, and since it is a meaningful string, so it is a language, and this language is made from the alphabets or the input alphabets. Now the second example, suppose we have string 0 comma 1, alphabets are 0 comma 1, then a language or a string which can be made possible is 0 1 double 0 double 1 double 0 1. Now next is the string operations. See, if suppose we have a string AB which is denoted by W1, and another string B double A denoted by W, then a concatenation operation is defined as W1 W2. So it is just concatenation of second string behind the first string. So it is AB followed by B double A. In the same way, if we perform W2 W1, then B double A, then followed by AB will be there. Now the next simple operation is reverse of a string. So reverse of a string is, if suppose W is equal to A triple B, then W reverse will be triple B A. Next comes length of a string. If suppose W1 barabar AB, then length will be denoted by mod of W1. Mod of W1 is equal to 2. And it is very much obvious that for a string, if W and W are denotes W the original string and W are the reverse of a string, then the length of those two strings will be same. So mod of W will be mod of W raised to power R. That is length of W. Length of W will be same as the length of reverse of the string. Now some more operations, such as if suppose we have two string W1 and W2 for concatenation operation. W1 is equal to AB, W2 barabar B double A, then W barabar W1 W2. This is concatenation. And if suppose we are denoting W as W1 concatenation of W2, then the length of W will be simply the length of W1 plus length of W2. Now the next is empty string, and this is a very important concept. An empty string is denoted by epsilon or lambda, which is having no alphabet, and mod of epsilon or mod of lambda will be 0 only. If W1 barabar AB is a string concatenated with empty string lambda, then it won't affect on its length, that is W1 barabar AB, then W1 lambda or lambda W1 will remain same. So mod of W1 lambda 1 बराबर mod of lambda W1 बराबर mod of W. Now very important concept known as cleanest star or closure concept. Suppose epsilon is equals to sigma is equals to a comma b, then set of all combinations of input alphabets including empty string is denoted as sigma star. Sigma star denotes basically all the possible combination of input alphabets A and B, which can be taken in any order starting from zero length. So zero length will be epsilon, and we generally follow a increasing order of length. So epsilon denotes zero length, A denotes one length, double A will denotes two length, and B can also be there. So it uh, we should write it like epsilon comma A comma B comma AB comma double A comma double B comma BA and so on. So starting from zero length to any kind of length, n number of symbols can be used in any order in any way. So hence it is denoting all the possible sets, and this set is known as Kleene star set or closure, Kleene closure. Any language can be a finite set of a string and it can be infinite set of a string also. Let us discuss first finite language. If suppose we have a language given a boy runs, then it is a combination of three strings, a boy and runs. So only three string combination makes a language, so it is a finite language. Now infinite language. Here we have an example L equals to a की power n b की power n such that n greater than equals to 0, where sigma बराबर a comma b. So a and b can come in n. A should come before b, and the number of occurrence of a is equal to number of occurrence of b. And hence, since n is greater than equal to 0, means n can have any value starting from 0 to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Since it can have any number of possible values, so it is a perfect example of infinite language. And the possible combinations which can be created over here is put n is equals to 0, so it will remain epsilon. If we put n barabar 1, then a and ab will be there. If n barabar 2, then double a double b will be there. Put n barabar 3, then we will be having triple A, triple B, and so on. Since it is making all set of possible languages, so it is a infinite language combination. Now L is equals to a की power n, a की power n, b की power n. We already studied that it is a infinite language, but it is to be noted that the input alphabet will always be finite in nature. So sigma is equals to, since only two symbols are used a and b, so sigma will be a comma b only. So it is to be noted that the alphabet or input alphabets will always be finite in nature. Now infinite language or string formed can also be seen through this example. As I already told you here, for the given language a की power n, b की power n, while putting n equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, we will get the possible string combinations such as epsilon, ab, a square b square, and so on. So here we are getting all the possible set of combinations starting from 0 to 1 length. To n equals to 1 gives ab, to n equals to 2 gives a square b square, and so on. This is a very important concept, that this is any language can be defined as a subset of sigma star. Explain sigma positive or positive closure from star closure. Sigma plus includes all combinations except empty string epsilon. Similarly to that of sigma star, which is Kleene closure for input alphabet sigma. Sigma plus is denoted as positive closure, and positive closure is basically sigma star minus epsilon. So it is also an infinite set. However, empty length string is not allowed. So this is very important relation between sigma star closure and sigma plus closure. Sigma plus is equal to sigma star closure minus epsilon. For two language operations, if suppose we have one language equals to x and second language is equal to y, Then the concatenation operation L is equal to L1, L2 will give xy, x dot y or xy simply, where x belongs to L1 and y will belongs to L2. Complement operation is very simple to understand. Complement operation means if suppose we are defining L complement or L dash, so L dash is equals to sigma star minus L. On the left hand side we have written L, it is basically L complement LC or L dash. So L dash is equal to sigma star minus L. Reverse we already studied. If L बराबर W then LR will be WR. If L बराबर a की power n b की power n greater than equals to 1 then reverse will be b की power n a की power n such that n greater than equals to 1. Language to the power 0, very easy to understand. Any language or string with the power of 0 will always result an empty string, that is L की power 0 will give epsilon always. Grammar. Any language should be meaningful in the nature, and this is really important concept. We must understand basically whatever communication we make with each other, that is basically based on some rules and regulations, and these rules and regulations basically termed as grammar. So we already know by following the rules of grammar only we are able to make the meaningful sentences or meaningful languages. In the same way, any machine, any kind of universal machine follows some set of rules and regulation known as grammar. Based on grammar, the language whichever we want to generate is generated in a meaningful sense. If we don't follow grammar, the language may be generated, but the language will be of no use because the language sense will be senseless. So we follow grammar in order to make the language senseful. Grammar real life example, we can give a simple real life example. If suppose we have three rules given: sentence gives noun phrase predicate, noun phrase gives article noun, and predicate gives verb. Then if suppose we want to create a sentence, a boy runs. So here we want to create a sentence which is a boy runs. We can say we want to create a language, a boy runs. So a boy runs follows the three basic rules. First is sentence gives noun phrase plus predicate. Noun phrase gives article and noun. Predicate gives verb. So we have to use these three rules in order to make the sentence a boy runs. So a boy runs, first of all, as it is a sentence, so it is using rule number 1, noun phrase plus predicate. Now the noun phrase is divided into article and noun, and the predicate is divided into verb. So article is basically A over here, noun is basically boy, and verb is basically runs. So we are able to construct the sentence a boy runs by using all the three rules. First of all, sentence divided into noun phrase and predicate. Noun phrase is divided into article and noun. Predicate divided into verb. After making article, noun and verb, we are just putting the values over here. So article is A, noun is boy, verb is runs. So a boy runs is created. Now points to note about the grammar. The left hand symbol are known as variable or non-terminal. Non-terminals are variables are generally denoted as capital letters, and the arrow which we use in between is known as derived symbol. So when we say, if suppose we are using these rules, then we say sentence derives noun phrase predicate, noun phrase derives article noun, predicate derives verb. So these points are basic points. Now the terminal, the string or the language derives at last is terminal. Terminals are generally in a practice we denote them by using the small letters. Terminals cannot be further broken, as the name suggests. And the start symbol, it is first symbol for derivation, and start symbol will always be a non-terminal. It's a very important point. Now the production rule, any grammar follows some rules to derive in a language known as production rule. As we can see in the previous example, we are using three rules over here, 1, 2, 3. So we are using three production rules. Now A grammar is defined in terms of tuples using four tuples. First is non-terminal n, second is terminal small t, terminal t, and start symbol s, and p is the production rule. Where s is a starting symbol which will always be a subset of n which is non-terminal, capital N which is a non-terminal. So it is to be remembered that a grammar is always defined using the four tuples, non-terminal, terminal, starting symbol, and production rules. We can see some example. A grammar is given as s a comma b comma s comma p. So and the rules are given as gives a as b, s gives epsilon. So first of all, the four tuple values are mentioned over here. S will be denoted as non-terminal, a comma b is terminal, s is the starting symbol, and p is the production rule. And the production rules are defined below by using 1 and 2. This is s, and s gives a as b, s gives epsilon are the two production rules. Now here it is asked how many non-terminals are there. So only one non-terminal s is used over here. So answer is 1. Which is the starting symbol? So s is the start symbol. Here we can see this also. Next, what are the production rules? So it is very simple to say. Two production rules: s gives ASB, s gives epsilon. Now derives string from grammar notation. If we have derived some string about the grammar, question is this. Some of the strings which can be derived easily are, easily we can see first string derived is s is gives epsilon. Very simple to say, s gives epsilon. So s gives epsilon is the first string. Then if we use the rule number 2, s gives ASB, and replacing s with epsilon, then another string formed will be AB. In the same sense, if we use s gives ASB and s gives ASB, then it is double A S double B, and again we are replacing s with epsilon, so we will get double A double B as the final result. Now in formal notation, language of grammar can be noted as a set in the form of set, and it is denoted as informal notation. So informal notation is mentioned as LG. L denotes language, G denotes grammar. So whatever strings possible following the grammar are basically languages. So combining them into a set will give a complete set of languages. So as we earlier said that we generally follow from small length to large length. So first we are considering epsilon, then we are considering AB, then double A double B, then triple A triple B, and so on. So in informal notation, the set of language LG will be epsilon comma AB comma double A double B comma triple B, and so on. Now in formal notation, if we are able to construct in some formula wise notation, then we can write it in formula form also. So as we are able to see that the here we are representing LG barabar epsilon AB double A double B and so on. Now this can also be constructed in a formula way. So we can write it as A ki power n, B ki power n, where n greater than equal to 0. So basically this upper LG representation and below LG representation are same. We have a choice to use any one of them, but if we are able to make a formula notation, then we generally follow the second notation, which is A ki power n, B ki power n, such that n greater than equal to 0. However, both the language set are perfectly fine and both are representing one and same thing. Now some questions are here, same as that of our previous question. Solve all the parts of below. G is equal to s comma 0 1 comma s comma p. So s gives 0 s1, s gives epsilon, and all the things are same except a and b are replaced by 0 and 1. So it is very easy to say. We can solve all the parts as we solved in the previous example. Now sentential form and sentence form. It is to be noted that us when we write production rules, the intermediate rules which are considering the non-terminals are basically sentential forms which can be derived into some sentence, and the final formed result or the string which cannot be further broken or which cannot be further terminated, is noted as sentence. So here if we are using two rules, as gives A as B, as gives epsilon, then as gives A as B, double A as double B, using rule number 1, using rule number 1, again using rule number 1, triple A as triple B, and here we are using rule number 2 in order to make it understand, and it is hence we are understanding it in a very simple sense. So the final formed answer is triple A triple B. Here we can easily see that S A S B, double A as double B, triple A as double B, these all four contains some sort of non-terminals. Hence, these S, ASB, double A, S, double B, triple A, S, triple B is sentential forms, and the final form result triple A, triple B is basically sentence form. So it is very easy. Sentential forms which can be further broken. Sentence the final result. So S, ASB, double A, S, double B, the triple A, S, triple B can be further broken, hence they are sentential form. Triple A triple B is final result, so it is a sentence. Now describe general notation. If we want to describe some general notation of the language form using some grammar G, then we should write it LG. L of G will always result a string, so it generally we denote a string through W. So it is denoting a string. And now the string is basically combination of terminals. So terminals can be starting from 0 to n number of terminals. So it is belonging to terminal star T star. So W belongs to T star, such that the terminal W will be formed starting from the starting non-terminal. So W is formed from started from S. So S is formed, S is forming W. So we are writing S gives W, and it takes 0 to 1 2 3 through n number of steps. So we are writing star over here. So this is a definition of language, and need not to means need not to uh, mug up it, but we need to understand the meaning of each and every symbol so that we can remember it and understand it very properly. First of all, language gives a string, so we are writing a string. String is a combination of terminals, so it belongs to T star. Terminal can be 0 1 to anyone, and hence we are writing T star. Now string is formed starting from starting symbol, so S gives W. Now string can be formed one number of step, in two number of step, in three number of step, in four number of step, and so on. So S writes star W. So this is very simple. This is very easy to understand. Equivalence of two grammars. If two grammars G1 and G2 will be equivalent, if language represented by grammar G1 is same as that the language represented by grammar G2, so L of G1 barabar L of G2. So it denotes language by grammar G1 barabar language by grammar G2. So this is really important concept, equivalence of two grammar, where language by grammar G1 is equal to language by grammar G2. Question significance. Suppose we have a language L barabar e की power n b की power n plus 1. Then answer the following question. What will be the language represented in terms of significance between A and B? In this question, the length of A, we can easily see the length of A will always be less than length of B by 1 only, and A will always come before before B. So this is its significance, and it is very easy to understand. A की power n b की power n plus 1 clearly indicates length of A always remain 1 less than the length of B, and A will always comes before B. In the same way, we can understand this example also. A की power n b की power 2n. Here n equals to 1, n equals to 2, n equals to 3. By putting these values, we get a, b2, a2, b4, a3, b6. It means A will always come before B. However, the length of A will always be half of the length of B, or we can say that the length of B will always be twice the length of A, and it is same that A will come before B always. And one more thing, the length of B will always be a even number, because B की power 2n and 2 into any number will always give a even number. So three things are here. First, A will always come before B. Second, B will always be twice as the number of A, and the length of B always be a even number. Previously, we have seen the construction of language by testing the given grammar. Now we will see some example which we will construct grammar by by the given language. So we will see it in next lecture. Thank you very much.